Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ultimate bell burn. Now, let me be clear, this isn't about half effort, shortcuts, or waiting around for results to magically appear. This is about why you stepping up, owning your power, and pushing past the limits that you think are holding you back. The bell. It's that moment when your body says, I can't, and you look it in the eye and answer, watch me. Today, we're not just burning calories, we're burning excuses. We're not just ringing the bell, we're smashing it. So get ready, because by the end of this, you won't just feel stronger, you'll be stronger inside and out. Push past the bell. Your limit is a lie. Every single one of us has a built-in alarm system, a moment where the body or the mind throws up a red flag and says, "Enough. Stop. You can't keep going." That's the bell. It shows up in different forms for different people. For some, it's the burning in your muscles. For others, it's the pounding of your heart. And for many, it's that sneaky voice in your head whispering that you've reached the end of what's possible. But here's the truth that most people never realize. The bell is not the end. It's not a finish line. It's simply the threshold of discomfort, the signal that you are stepping out of the zone where things are easy and predictable and moving into the space where growth is actually born. The bell is a liar because it convinces you that pain equals failure, that struggle equals weakness, when in reality, it is the exact opposite. The bell is proof that you're on the edge of progress. Think about how many times in your life you've stopped right when you were about to break through. The workout you cut short because it burned too much. The dream you shelved because the rejection hurt too badly. The conversation you avoided because your fear screamed louder than your courage. Every single time the bell rang and you chose to believe it. But if you had stayed just a little longer, if you had pushed through the burn, if you had trusted that your body and your spirit had more in reserve, you would have discovered something extraordinary. You are far stronger than you give yourself credit for. The bell shows up to test your commitment, to ask you a simple question: do you want this badly enough to endure the heat, the discomfort, the doubt? When athletes train, their coaches often say that the real workout doesn't start until the body wants to quit. That's because endurance, strength, resilience, none of it is forged in the first easy reps, the light jog, the comfortable pace. It's built when the muscles are trembling, when the sweat stings your eyes, when your lungs are gasping for air. That's the crucible where true power is born. And in life, it's no different. The bell doesn't just ring in the gym, it rings in your relationships, in your career, in your personal battles. It rings every time you reach the limit of your comfort zone. Most people never learn to see the bell for what it is. They hear it and assume it means stop. But champions, leaders, people who change their lives and the lives of others, they hear it and understand it's simply a signal. A signal that says, now the work begins. They lean in when others back away. They keep going when others give up. They know that the body and the mind always hold more reserves than we think. The bell may be loud, it may be convincing, but it is not the truth. The truth is that beyond that bell lies the version of you that you've been chasing all along. Excuses don't burn calories, effort does. Every single time you catch yourself saying, I'm too tired, I don't have time, or I'll start tomorrow, what you are really doing is choosing comfort over progress. Excuses are easy, they're soft, they give you a reason to step back and avoid the hard work. They make you feel justified in quitting before you even begin. But excuses don't move you forward. They don't change your body, they don't build your strength, they don't create momentum in your life. Effort does. The sweat, the grind, the moments when you push yourself one step further, even though everything in you is screaming to stop. That's where the real results come from. It's simple math. If you sit on the sidelines rationalizing why today isn't the day, nothing changes. Your body stays the same, your energy stays the same, your life stays the same. But if you show up and put in even a small effort, 10 minutes of movement, one healthier choice, one extra rep, you create forward motion. That motion compounds, effort builds on itself, and over time it transforms not just your body, but your discipline, your mindset, and your belief in what's possible. Excuses rob you of that. They pretend to protect you, but what they're really doing is stealing your progress before you even give yourself a chance to earn it. Think about every person you've ever admired, whether in fitness, business, or life. None of them got there by leaning on excuses. They got there by putting in the effort consistently, especially on the days when they didn't want to. That's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not some magic formula. It's the willingness to show up and do the work regardless of the circumstances. Excuses will always be waiting for you. They'll always have another reason why now isn't the right time. Effort demands more. It requires you to silence the noise, to stop negotiating with yourself, to get uncomfortable and do the thing anyway. And here's the powerful truth: effort doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to crush every single workout, hit every single goal, or execute flawlessly. What matters is that you show up and put something on the table. Even imperfect effort will move you closer to your goals, while the most polished excuse will only push them further away. Effort is about taking responsibility, owning your choices, and understanding that the results you want are not handed to you, they're earned through consistent action. Every time you feel an excuse bubbling up, you're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the same patterns, the same frustration, the same cycle of wanting more, but never reaching it. The other path, the path of effort, may be harder in the moment, but it is the only one that leads to change. Your body doesn't care about the story you tell yourself. It doesn't respond to, "I'm tired" or "I'm busy." It only responds to effort, to action, to the energy you put in. That's the undeniable laws. Excuses don't burn calories, effort does. Discomfort is the price of transformation. Every meaningful change in life comes at a cost, and that cost is the willingness to endure the moments that feel uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and often downright painful. People dream of growth, they dream of stronger bodies, sharper minds, and bigger lives. But when the moment arrives where comfort is stripped away, most retreat. They cling to what feels easy and safe because the unknown is intimidating, yet growth cannot and will not happen in the space where everything feels familiar. Muscles don't grow without strain. Endurance doesn't build without fatigue, and resilience doesn't develop without challenge. Discomfort is the currency you pay to evolve into something greater than you are today. When you push through discomfort, you're not just training your body, you're training your body, you're training your mind. You're teaching yourself to handle stress, to keep moving under pressure, to stay steady when the ground feels shaky. The ability to sit in discomfort without immediately searching for a way out is one of the most powerful skills you can build. It separates those who talk about transformation from those who actually achieve it. The truth is, transformation isn't glamorous. It's sweat dripping in your eyes, muscles trembling, lungs screaming for air. It's also fear, doubt, and uncertainty gnawing at the edges of your resolve. But that is exactly the space where change takes root. If you can learn to lean into it instead of escaping from it, you'll discover that discomfort is not a punishment, it's a signal that you're on the right path. Think about the process of building strength. When you lift weights, what you are really doing is tearing tiny fibers in your muscles. That tearing doesn't feel good, but when the fibers repair themselves, they come back stronger. Without the tear, there is no growth. The same principle applies everywhere. Learning a new skill feels frustrating at first. Starting a new habit feels awkward. Confronting your fears feels terrifying. But in each of these cases, discomfort is the doorway. Without walking through it, you remain the same. With it, you become something new. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort, designing their days to avoid pain or challenge. But in doing so, they also avoid transformation. Comfort zones might feel safe, but they are prisons disguised as freedom. The routines that protect you from discomfort also prevent you from expansion. That's why discomfort must be reframed, not as something to fear, but as something to pursue. The burn in your muscles, the pounding of your heart, the nervous knot in your stomach before you take a risk, those are not signs that you should stop. They are signs that you are alive, that you are stepping into the territory where change is possible. The irony is that once you accept discomfort as part of the process, it loses some of its power over you. Instead of seeing it as an enemy, you begin to see it as proof that you are moving forward. You start to welcome it, even chase it, because you understand that without paying that price, transformation will always remain out of reach. Your mind quits long before your body does. The greatest battles you'll ever fight are not with the weights on the bar, the hills beneath your feet, or the clock ticking down your workout. They are with the voice inside your head that tells you it's over before it truly is. The body is capable of far more than most people will ever demand from it, but the mind acts like a gatekeeper, shutting you down the moment things start to feel difficult. That's why you can feel exhausted in a workout and still somehow dig deep for one more rep, one more sprint, one more push. The strength was there all along. It's the mind that wanted to stop. This mental quitting point is deeply ingrained. It comes from a survival mechanism designed to protect you from danger, to keep you from pushing so hard that you cause damage. But in modern life, that alarm goes off far too soon. It rings the moment you feel discomfort, the second you feel fatigue, and it convinces you that you're finished when in reality, you've barely tapped into your reserves. Athletes call this the wall, and those who learn to push through it discover that what lies beyond is where real performance begins. Science even backs this up. Studies show that when people believe they've reached their physical limit, they often still have significant energy and strength left unused. The barrier isn't the body, it's the brain. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop mistaking mental fatigue for physical exhaustion. You start recognizing that the voice telling you to stop is not the truth, but a suggestion. And like any suggestion, you don't have to take it. You can challenge it. You can push a little further and prove to yourself that you were nowhere near done. Every time you do this, you train your mind to expand its threshold, and that expansion becomes the foundation of resilience. Consider moments outside the gym as well. How many times have you felt like you couldn't handle another setback, another rejection, another hard conversation? Yet you did. You woke up the next day, you faced it, you moved forward. Your mind told you that you couldn't, but your actions proved otherwise. That same principle applies everywhere. Whether it's a marathon, a business challenge, or a personal trial, the pattern repeats. The mind waves the white flag long before the body has given its all. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not necessarily the strongest or the most gifted. They are the ones who refuse to listen when the mind says stop. They've trained themselves to see that moment not as an ending, but as an invitation to dig deeper. The body has hidden reserves of strength, stamina, and willpower, but you can only access them when you decide that the voice of doubt is not the final word. Every time you silence that voice and take one more step, you prove the truth your mind quits long before your body does. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's easy to get fired up for a single workout, to push yourself hard one day, to go all in with everything you've got in a burst of energy. But the reality is that one day of intensity does not transform your body, your habits, or your life. What transforms you is the repetition of effort, the daily commitment to show up even when you don't feel like it, even when the excitement has worn off, even when nobody is watching. Intensity may light the spark, but consistency keeps the fire burning. So many people make the mistake of thinking transformation is about going to extremes. They crash diet, they push themselves into grueling workouts for a week. They chase quick fixes that promise overnight success. But that kind of intensity is not sustainable, and it almost always ends with burnout, injury, or discouragement. What works is steady effort, showing up over and over again, making small, deliberate choices every single day that compound into massive results over time. Consistency doesn't feel glamorous. It doesn't always feel powerful in the moment, but it builds something far stronger than fleeting intensity ever could: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And discipline isn't about crushing one workout, it's about stacking brick after brick, day after day, until you've built the foundation strong enough to hold the life you're chasing. You don't get fit by working out once. You don't master a skill by practicing it a handful of times. You don't transform your mindset by reading one book or listening to one speech. You do it by repeating the work until it becomes part of you. Consistency turns effort into identity. It shifts you from someone who trees to someone who simply is. Think about the power of compound interest in finance. Small, steady deposits made regularly grow into massive wealth over time. Your habits work the exact same way. Every time you choose to show up, whether for 10 minutes or an hour, you're making a deposit into the bank of your future. It may not feel like much in the moment, but those deposits accumulate. They compound. They create unstoppable momentum. Intensity without consistency is just noise, but consistency without intensity is progress, slow and steady, unshakable progress. The truth is, consistency also rewires your relationship with effort. It takes the choice out of the equation. Instead of debating with yourself every day, should I, can I, will I, you simply do it because it's what you do. That's the power of habit. It's the reason marathon runners keep training long after the medal is won, why entrepreneurs keep working after the first breakthrough, why champions keep showing up when they could easily stop. They understand that the magic isn't in one extraordinary push, it's in the ordinary days stacked on top of each other relentlessly until extraordinary becomes the natural result. Every rep, every choice builds the stronger you. Strength is not something that suddenly appears in a single moment of effort. It is the cumulative result of the small decisions you make and the actions you repeat. Each rep in the gym, each choice to move your body, each time you pick discipline over convenience, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. Progress is never built on grand gestures alone. It is built on the quiet, consistent accumulation of effort that compounds over time. When you lift a weight, it might feel like just one rep, insignificant on its own, but that single rep contributes to the endurance of your muscles, the resilience of your mind, and the confidence in your spirit. One healthy meal might not transform your body, but combined with hundreds of other small decisions, it creates energy, vitality, and strength. Choosing to wake up early, choosing to take the stairs, choosing to finish the last round when you'd rather quit, these choices stack on top of one another, layer by layer, until the person staring back at you in the mirror is undeniably stronger than the one who began. The challenge is that most people underestimate the power of these small actions. They dismiss a single rep as meaningless. They treat one decision as if it doesn't matter. But strength is not built in occasional dramatic moments. It is built in the grind, in the repetition, in the discipline of showing up for yourself again and again. Every choice either moves you closer to the stronger version of yourself or keeps you stuck exactly where you are. There is no neutral. You are either building or you are breaking. Strength also isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. Every time you push through doubt, every time you hold yourself accountable, every time you prove to yourself that you can do what you said you would do, you're strengthening the most important muscle of all, your belief in yourself. The stronger you is not created overnight, it is forged rep by rep, choice by choice, in the fire of consistency and effort. Each of those small victories, invisible in the moment, adds up to something undeniable. And when you look back, you'll see that it wasn't a single decision, but the accumulation of thousands of small ones that built the stronger you.